Hello, viewers, and welcome to the latest Huddle. I'm with George Kakouras, Managing Director of Apcopay. George, thanks for joining us.
Tim, thank you for having me. Really glad to be here today with you.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing all about your thoughts on the industry and the company. To start off with, can you tell us a little bit about the brand and how it aims to stand out?
Yes, I mean, as a matter of introduction, Apcopay is a company that has been 20 years in the landscape of payments. So we offer a unified single-layer payments orchestration platform, and we have been supporting merchants all over the world, more than 1,500 merchants around the world. Basically, what we do is we make payments easy for them, which means that we take care of all the complexity of accepting payments, and we let our customers focusing on growing their business. If we go back a bit in history, specifically related to the gaming industry, Apcopay was a startup in 2004, based in Malta. And what happened back then, Malta for the first time introduced their online gaming regulation. So it was the right time, we were starting at the same time, many online gaming companies were getting their licenses here in Malta. So in a way, we grew together, year by year, country by country. And this was one of the main reasons that the company grew so much as well, hand in hand with the gaming industry. Moving ahead now, 20 years ahead, I think this is the most unique part of the business, that we know very well what gaming operators out there need. And we can find the ways to provide them, the tools through our platform to just grow their business and grow in more and more markets as they go along.
Mm-hmm. The timing, as you mentioned there, of 2004, it was very well timed, and obviously Malta hasn't looked back since. But as you say, roughly 20 years later, where do you feel Apcopay and you guys are positioned within the market?
Yes, if we look at the globe, I mean, at the moment we are active in 25 countries. We offer more than 40 credit card processing solutions, so more than 40 acquirers already integrated in our platform. And then we have more than 240 payment options already integrated. Now, what we do is that we constantly include more markets and more, let's say, acquirers and payment options, depending on the region that one operator wants to target. So looking at positioning, I mean, we believe that we are the go-to place for any gaming operator specifically. That doesn't mean that we don't do other things. So speaking about Apcopay, we're very active in other industries as well, starting from telecommunications, insurance, travel industry. But we think that this is very complementary, because what we do, the platform is one, right? So we get all the good things that we have to develop for other industries, for other verticals as well. We integrate it in the platform, and then all our customers benefit from them. But speaking a bit more on the gaming side and on the positioning in the market, you can see so many companies around us offering payments, right? So if you walk in a big industry event, let's say you're in London and you're in NICE or you're in Sigma, you go around and you see, probably, I don't know, tens of or dozens of companies doing payments. So what is really different in this positioning, and what makes us unique, I think, is that we are, depending on the local market that an operator wants to focus on, we bring together more than one solutions. We want to keep the engine of the customer always going. The machine of accepting payments has to be always up and running. So even if one processor fails, then another one is cascading and it comes into play. And all this is through one platform and one system.
Mm-hmm. A slight segue, you mentioned you're in multiple industries. I'm always interested to know what percentage, perhaps, of your overall business gaming forms.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at gaming, it forms more than 60% of our business. Mm-hmm. So it is our focus. It is what we're good at. It's always good to expand on other verticals as well, because it gives you a different view of the payments world. But our core expertise is into gaming.
Mm-hmm. And within gaming, what are your main products? Because obviously you mentioned it's a competitive industry, and you mentioned your expertise in gaming and how you're looking to use that to help you stand out. What are the main platforms and products that you've got?
Mm-hmm. The platform is one, and that's the secret, right? So we are not looking on segregated products on our platform. So in fact, for the For 1.5 years now, we have been doing a major investment, and we just launched our new platform, which is called Synthesis. And the name, is not a random one. When we're talking about synthesis, bringing a lot of, it's a Greek word, by the way, but it was my team that came up with it. And what we're doing is we're putting various value-added services into one layer. When you're an operator, you don't want to have, a million of different systems managing your payments. You want to have one platform and being able to be flexible and incorporate different options there. So this is what Synthesis does. Of course, it has a lot of tools having to do with fraud analysis and data management. And the very basic layer on my eyes is, the reporting that we provide. I always believe that, a report that is complicated and you cannot read will never help you make a business decision. So that was our guiding principle on developing Synthesis, and that is what exactly it does. It provides useful information for the business owners out there to take decisions.
I think that's a very key point, because I've spoken to executives before who've said a financial report or any kind of report can have loads of expertise in it, can have the absolute most up-to-date data, but if it's not understandable, not readable for those who need to read it, what purpose does it serve, really?
Exactly like that. When we hope we do this well, I mean, at least the feedback we're getting is very good so far, and we're constantly improving the feedback that we get from our operators. Customization is also something we do, Tim, if I may add on this.
Sure.
The platform is one, the product is one, but it constantly gains a piece of customization depending on who the operators are and they're using it. So we are very fast on integrating new solutions. We're very fast on going into new markets. And, we go hand in hand with what the operators of the business need, because this is what defines how our product should be.
Absolutely. Geographically, what are your biggest markets?
And if we look at the globe, more than 50% of our business comes from European entities. That doesn't mean they offer the services only in Europe, but we're talking about entities that are based mainly in Europe. So this is the majority of the market. This year, we're seeing a lot of growth in Latin America as part of our online gaming operations, and we're also seeing Asia growing. Canada is something that we monitor as well, and then it depends how the markets regulate as we go along, because obviously new markets that regulate, we monitor very carefully, and we want to be a step ahead there. So when the market is open, then we can be automatically offering our solutions to operators there.
Absolutely. I would ask you to single out specific markets, but we'll get onto that a little bit later when we talk about future plans and that kind of thing. I mean, I mentioned the future. Looking back, we're speaking towards the end of 2023. How do you reflect on how the year has gone?
It was one of a year, 2023, for the business. The main reason is that, we have been a company, operating for more than 20 years, still with a startup mentality, although it sounds too much long of a period. But what we did in 2023 were two things. One is there was a big investment on the platform. The platform was built from ground up. So we started from scratch, and obviously we use the latest technologies, making sure we're scalable to grow in the future, being faster, more secure, more reliable as we move along. So that was the one part happening in 2023. The second thing is that we grew our team a lot. So this happened across all functions. So we enhanced our tech team, and we also started engaging something that we weren't doing before, meaning outsourcing development as well. So we beefed up our tech team. At the same time, our business development team grew, and we gave more emphasis on our customer experience team. So with these three pillars, we enhanced our team as well. So putting these two together, on the one hand, we have our new, very robust platform. We have a very strong team in place, and we're moving ahead for rapid growth in the coming years for the benefit of our shareholders. What I should also mention is that our company, Apcopay, is part of a listed company, which is called Harvest. So we have to make sure that we create shareholder value on every step on the way, and this is what we're doing at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've mentioned a few new developments, latest developments there. We understand you've got something in the works in the shape of a rebrand as well. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes. Actually, we celebrated like a month ago our 20 years. and this was the time that we launched our new brand identity. And this was an effort, to show that, the company is here, is investing as we move ahead. And more than anything, we're talking about a company that is trustworthy and our customers can rely on. This is something that we strongly believe at. I have to say that, our customer experience team is still human driven. So when someone picks up the phone, you will find someone to talk rather than an AI chatbot, at the back. So this is something we're investing hard, and we believe that this is reflected on our new brand identity as well.
Yeah, that's brilliant, and that's interesting to hear because obviously nowadays a huge industry emphasis, and not just industry, global emphasis is on AI. But I think currently the stage we're at in AI, just my opinion, we still need humans to finish the job at the very least, right? So that's interesting to hear that human-based focus.
Yes. Let's put it this way. Our customers like to pick up the phone and talk to us, and we prefer it as well, because that's the best way to solve problems, at least at the moment, right? Moving ahead, obviously, we're exploring solutions and tools, but for the moment, we believe that this is the best way to move forward.
Sure. Well, a couple of minutes ago, I mentioned we'll talk about kind of looking ahead, and the final sort of major. Sorry, I got confused between main and major there. Topic for you were in terms of the markets you've mentioned, and in terms of everything you've mentioned, products, business. Where are you aiming for the most growth as you move forward? And I suppose ties into that. We're heading into 2024. What are your kind of goals looking ahead?
I mean, on 2024, as I said, now we set up a really amazing base, which is our platform and our very strong team. Now, looking ahead, it's all about developing the business out there. It is onboarding new customers on a new platform and helping them grow in their respective markets. So if you look at the respective markets, it's their strategy that drives us with them. Now, let me speak about gaming, right? A lot of discussion about Latin America, a lot of things happening there. But there is a very interesting case that if you speak about Brazil, for example, there is one payment solution that everyone works with, and it's called Pix, right? So what do you do there? And what is the value we can bring? Because everyone can find this solution anywhere, What we do is that we aggregate a multiple local payment methods that it is seamless for the operator, who of the local acquirers is finally processing the transaction. But what for the operator matters is that the deposit comes in and the payout is fast and goes out when it has to go out. So this is the focus, and this is what we're doing at the moment and working on, is aggregating multiple local payment methods in the respective countries where we see the operators wanting to grow. Brazil is one of them I mentioned as an example, but there are many others coming. But this is what we're focusing on 2024. At the same time, we are monitoring very closely licensing developments in countries, right? So there are countries that we know already there is a plan to open the markets, regulate them, and having license provide. I'll mention Finland, for example. So in this case, what we do, we already set up the stage now. So we're identifying and putting in our platform, integrating our platform, the local solutions, so that when the time comes for operators to get licensed and they start their operations there, we're ready to serve their payments.
In terms of the markets you've mentioned, and maybe any you haven't mentioned, is there one that maybe excites you the most in terms of potential?
I think the potential in Latin America is great. Competition is fierce. But that's why we're there, to stand by the side and empower our operators. That's it. Canada is growing as well, so it's a very interesting market. Europe has its challenges and always had its challenges, but there is always space. Obviously, operators are facing challenges. We see a lot of M&A happening at the moment, and we will keep looking at it. At the same time, we see operators going on more regulated paths and opening specific licensing on specific markets. We are ready to serve them all, team. For us, it doesn't make a difference, We are there to empower these moves. Now, and there is something that I mentioned before. If you're an operator and you come to us and you see on a specific area that you need to grow and you need to integrate some solutions fast, that's why we're here. And that's what we do very well.
Fantastic. Well, George, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for your answers, and I look forward to speaking to you again, hopefully sometime soon.
So, team, thank you very much for today.
Thank you, George.